Learn English through stories. Intermediate English. The envious neighbour. Can kindness create magic? Can envy destroy your happiness? Follow Walt, Betty, and their loyal dog Max to learn natural English through a story filled with love, loss, and unexpected miracles. Listen and read carefully to grow your English step by step. Don't just study English, live it through stories. A happy home. In a cheerful little house lived Walt and Betty, a kind old couple. They didn't have much money, but they had a lot of love. Their best friend was their little dog, Max. He was the smartest, happiest dog in the whole world. They shared everything they had with him and their neighbours. The best dog. Max was a very special dog. He loved to dig in the garden. One sunny afternoon, Max started barking excitedly. "Woof! Woof! Dig here! Woof!" Walt chuckled and grabbed his shovel. "What have you found now, you silly boy?" he asked, patting Max's head. Max just wagged his tail faster. "A golden surprise." Walt dug where Max showed him. Clink! His shovel hit something hard. It was a heavy chest. Walt and Betty opened it together. Their eyes grew wide with amazement. The chest was filled to the very top with shiny, glittering gold coins. They were rich. "Oh, Max, you clever dog!" Betty cried. The grumpy neighbours. Next door lived Mr. and Mrs. Grumbles. They were the opposite of Walt and Betty. They were greedy, envious, and always complaining. They saw the gold and their faces turned green with jealousy. "It's not fair," Mr. Grumbles grumbled. "Why do they get all the luck? We deserve that treasure." A bad idea. Mr. Grumbles had a wicked idea. He went to Walt with a fake, sugary, sweet smile. "Oh, wonderful neighbour! Could we please borrow your amazing dog Max for just one day? We have a spot in our garden that needs digging too." Walt, being so kind, agreed to let him borrow Max. A dog's sad day. Max knew the Grumbles were not good people. He refused to dig for them. He just sniffed at a pile of garbage in their messy yard. This made Mr. Grumbles furious. In a terrible rage, he kicked poor Max and chased him away. Max was badly hurt, and it was a very sad day. A tearful goodbye. Walt and Betty were heartbroken. They cried for their dear friend. They found Max limping weakly by the fence and carried him home. But he soon passed away. They buried him in their beautiful garden under a small pine tree. Their cheerful little house felt quiet and lonely without him. The magic tree. A miracle happened. The little pine tree over Max's grave grew with amazing speed. In just a few days, it was a huge, magnificent tree, bigger than their house. Walt looked at the beautiful tree and felt Max's happy spirit was still with them. "Betty," he said, "I will make something special to remember our wonderful dog Max." The wonderful mortar. Walt, who was a skilled woodworker, carved a beautiful mortar from the magic tree's wood. A mortar is a special bowl used for grinding things. He made it to honor Max's memory. That evening, Betty put rice in the new mortar and started to pound it. But something incredible happened. Rice and riches. Instead of turning into flour, the rice in the mortar magically changed into gold coins. Every time Betty pounded the rice, more treasure appeared, spilling onto the floor. They felt Max was still watching over them, helping them even after he was gone. Green with envy. Of course, the Grumbles saw this new fortune. Their faces turned an even uglier shade of green. "They have a magic money bowl!" Mrs. Grumbles shrieked. "We must have it!" Mr. Grumbles marched right over to Walt and Betty's house, demanding to borrow the amazing mortar. A nasty surprise. Because they were too kind to say no, Walt and Betty lent them the mortar. The Grumbles rushed home and threw some rice inside, pounding it with all their greedy strength. But the mortar did not give them gold. Instead, it produced piles of smelly, disgusting garbage and filth. A fiery rage. "This stupid thing is broken!" Mr. Grumbles screamed in a rage. He was so angry that he took an axe and chopped the beautiful magic mortar into tiny pieces. Then, to hide what he had done, he threw all the pieces into his fireplace and burned them to ashes. Ashes of wonder. When Walt came to ask for the mortar back, Mr. Grumbles lied and said it had broken. Walt felt sad, but he did not get angry. He simply asked if he could take the ashes from the fireplace. He gently carried them home, placing them in a small basket, hoping a little of Max's magic remained. A royal procession. The next day, the rich landlord of the town was travelling down the road. It was winter, and all the beautiful cherry trees along the road were bare and looked dead. The landlord looked very bored and unhappy. "Everything is so grey and ugly," he complained to his servants. "Let the trees bloom." Walt had an idea. He stood by the road, and as the landlord approached, he called out, "Honourable sir, I can make these dead trees bloom for you." He took a pinch of the magic ashes from his basket and sprinkled them on the nearest withered cherry tree. A pink miracle. Instantly, the tree burst into beautiful, vibrant pink blossoms. It was a breathtaking sight. The landlord was amazed and delighted. "Incredible!" he shouted. "Do it again!" Walt walked along the road, sprinkling the magic ashes, and every single dead tree exploded with gorgeous flowers. The air filled with a sweet perfume. A generous reward. The landlord was overjoyed. He had never seen such a wonderful magic trick. He showered Walt with gifts of fine silk, expensive foods, and even more gold. "You are a good man with a kind heart," the landlord declared. "You have brought beauty and happiness to my day. You deserve this reward." The copycat grumbles. From his window, Mr. Grumbles saw everything. His eyes nearly popped out of his head with greed. "I can do that!" he yelled. He scraped the last of the ashes from his fireplace, put them in a bucket, and ran out to the road to wait for the landlord's return. A face full of soot. When the landlord's procession came back down the road, Mr. Grumbles jumped in front of them. "I am the real magician!" he shouted. He climbed a tree and threw his entire bucket of ashes right at the landlord. But these were not magic ashes. They were just dirty, grey soot. A terrible mess. The ashes didn't make the trees bloom. Instead, they flew directly into the landlord's face and all over his expensive clothes. He coughed and sputtered, blinded by the soot. "Arrest this fool!" the landlord roared, his face black with ash and fury. "He has ruined my day and my clothes." A just punishment. The landlord's guards seized the foolish Mr. Grumbles. As a punishment for his disrespect and wicked trick, he was put in jail for a long time. Mrs. Grumbles was left all alone, with no money, no friends, and a house full of lonely ashes from the burned mortar. A lesson learned. When Mr. Grumbles was finally released, he and his wife were very poor and very sorry. They went to Walt and Betty and begged for forgiveness. They finally understood that envy and greed only lead to misery. A kind and generous heart brings more happiness than any treasure. Sharing the fortune. Walt and Betty, with their pure hearts, forgave the Grumbles completely. They shared their good fortune, helping their neighbours stand back on their feet. From that day on, the Grumbles changed their ways. They tried every day to be kinder neighbours than before. Everyone in the neighbourhood lived happily ever after. What about you? Envy destroys happiness, but kindness brings it back. Think about your own life. What is one moment when kindness made things better for you, or someone you care about? Share your story in the comments, not only to practice your English, but to let others learn and be inspired by you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share for more fun English lessons.